Hello, today's question that we're going to answer is, when is it not safe to be running outside? Now, all right, it is 7:20 in the morning. It's a Sunday morning. You can probably see behind me here, there's lots of snow on the ground. And I'm heading over to the university to try their indoor track, which because of the amount of ice that's on the roads right now, it makes it really super unsafe to be running outdoors right now. So I had a choice. I've got to do just about an hour and 40-minute run today. And if I were to come out onto the roads and run, it's not a matter of is it too cold. I mean, it is -10 outside right now. It's not a matter of if it's too cold. It's a matter of if it's too dangerous. 2 days ago, before we got this last bout of snow and the cold temperatures, it was 2 degrees and we had a rainstorm that turned into a snowstorm that turned into the deep freeze, which means that under all of the snow is ice. So if we're going to be doing any running, it's either going to be a treadmill run or it's going to be at the indoor track, which I've never used before. So I'm excited to get over to the university and try that. Now, I live in Canada, and so you would think the extreme weather might be something that would discourage people from running, but as a matter of fact, if you've got the right equipment, there is no such thing as bad gear, but there's the wrong environment. And in triathlon, there's a couple of times when I simply won't run. One is when there's a chance of electricity, when there's a chance of lightning, because that can be very dangerous, obviously. And then the other is when we have sleet or icy road conditions, because it's so easy to slip on the ice and pull a muscle. I mean, if you're invested in a race, you've spent the money, you've booked your plane tickets, whatever it's going to take you to get to the race, the last thing you want to do is risk injuring yourself unnecessarily. So today we're trying out the new Walker Sports and Ability Center, which is a legacy piece left over from the 2022 Pan Am Games, where I was the triathlon lead, which meant I just ran the triathlon for the Canada Games. But I've not used this facility for running in yet. They got a beautiful indoor track. It's about 7:41 in the morning. I can see a bunch of people up on the track already. So looking forward to giving you a little bit of a tour of that, and we'll see how it goes. That's where we're going, up there, up to the running track. So my takeaway from the track is it reminds me of when I started this journey 18 years ago, running the Lennox Lewis Arena in Orangeville, Ontario. My son was playing hockey. There's a rink right next door, and I would run on the track on the rink, on the second rink. So this was very much like that, in the sense that it's a public track. There's lots of walkers. You've got to navigate around. So it kind of reminds me also of being in an Ironman on the second loop of the course, where you've got walkers to navigate around. People are running at different paces. So while some people might get annoyed by that. Just reminds me of being on a race course. The last thing about running on a track that I'll say is I don't like the turns. When you start running longer periods of time, meaning more than an hour, and you're constantly turning in on the corners, your form changes. And if you've got good body awareness, which you typically have as an athlete, you can feel little twinges. You can feel twinges in your form. And on this track, as opposed to running outside, definitely going into the left-hand turn, the inside of my heel, I could feel the muscles and the tendons just sliding a little bit. And I could feel I was landing on my right foot. The outstep. So the form in my ankle was changing, which could lead to injury, which is probably why I won't run indoors again unless we have another ice storm and it's treacherous to run outside. But suffice to say, it was a good run. Okay, so that was an hour and 40 minutes on the track this morning indoors. I've never done that before. I've never run on a track that distance before, and I could feel it in my ankle. I could feel it in the way I was landing on my right foot because we were turning to the left on the track today, and now I'm starting to feel it in my knee a little bit. So I personally won't go back to the track like this, like I said, unless we have a really icy day. But you know, it's where I got my start running. I definitely remember, you know, taking my son to hockey and going for runs, and some communities had indoor rinks that had indoor running tracks on them, and that's where I got my start. So that might be a good strategy for you if you're time strapped and don't have the time to run or do something active or go for a walk. Think about what you can do if you're a parent anyway, what you can do when your kids are doing their thing. How can you do your thing? So when I used to run and my son was playing hockey, either outdoors or in the indoor tracks at the arenas, I would make a deal with the coach. I would just say, hey, when I'm done for my run, I'll try to time it so you guys are going on the ice. He'd give me the keys to the change room for the kids. I'd go in there and have a shower while the kids were playing their game. I'd miss the first 5-10 minutes of the game, but that's okay. I'd get my run in, I'd get my shower in, and I'd see the majority of the game. So that's just a quick tip, something to think about. But if you're a beginner triathlete and you're in a wintry area like I am, and you're not sure where to start your training, find a free track that you can start walking and doing slight jogging on. But again, I would caution any kind of long running on a track, because I definitely felt the form in my knees, in my ankles shifting, which means that was going to lead to an injury sooner rather than later, and that's just not what you need. You need to be running straight. The other thing you don't get is I didn't get sunshine. I didn't get, you know, the cold crisp air. I didn't get hills. Everything was flat. So, you know, there's pros and cons to it. I guess it's a good place to start, but not a great place to continuously train. So hopefully that was helpful today, and you get a little glimpse into the community that I live in and how we train in the wintertime. Have a great day.